Listen closely, because after this speech, you won't be able to lie to yourself anymore. This isn't feel-good advice. This is the truth that successful, calm, powerful people live by, but nobody told you because they wanted you weak. Not anymore, you're not tired. You're just undisciplined. That's the truth no one dares to say to your face, because if they did, you'd be forced to change. You'd be forced to wake up and realize that the life you're living right now is a reflection of what you've allowed, what you've avoided, and what you've been too afraid to confront. You think you're stuck because life is unfair, but you're stuck because you keep giving yourself permission to sit in pain instead of standing in power. You make excuses that sound like logic, but deep down they're just fear dressed up as strategy. Every time you say, "I'm too tired," what you really mean is, "I don't care enough to push." Every time you say, "I don't know where to start," you're actually saying, "I'm afraid of starting and failing." Discipline isn't motivation. It's not waiting to feel like it. It's not hoping the mood strikes you. Discipline is doing what must be done, even when it's hard, boring, or terrifying. Because if you only act when you feel like it, you will only live the life that your emotions allow, and emotions are liars. They'll tell you to quit. They'll tell you to shrink. They'll tell you it's too much. But your potential is bigger than your mood swings. You don't need more advice. You need to stop breaking promises to yourself. The truth is, every time you say you're going to wake up early and don't, you train your mind to distrust your words. Every time you say you'll eat better, start that project, stay focused, and you don't, you teach your brain that your words are weak. And if you can't trust yourself, who else can you trust? Discipline isn't just about action. It's about identity. The person you become is forged in the moments where nobody is watching. When you shut off the alarm and get up anyway. When you go to the gym, even when you're exhausted. When you sit in silence while the world begs you to scroll, compare, and escape. Discipline is the decision to choose your future over your feelings. You keep saying you want to change, but you keep choosing comfort. You want transformation, but you're married to distraction. You want growth, but you keep protecting your weaknesses like they're precious. You don't get to be powerful and pitiful at the same time. At some point, you have to pick. You have to decide that your excuses don't get a seat at the table anymore. That your pain no longer gets to be the loudest voice in your head. That your story of why it's hard doesn't get to write your next chapter. Do you want to be respected? Then stop abandoning yourself. Stop quitting when it gets uncomfortable. Stop saying yes to things that drain you and no to the things that would grow you. You don't need a better plan. You need better self-control. You need to tell yourself no, not because you're punishing yourself, but because you love your future too much to sabotage it. Discipline is self-respect. It's not punishment, it's protection. It's the shield that guards you from a life of mediocrity, regret, and wasted potential. You think freedom is doing whatever you want whenever you want. But real freedom comes from doing what you need, even when it's the last thing you want. Because that's how you build a life that feels good to live, not just one that looks good on the outside. You're not confused. You're avoiding the truth. You know what needs to be done. You know what's holding you back. You know the patterns, the habits, the people, the lies. You just don't want to let them go yet. Because deep down, your comfort zone has become your cage. And if you want to be free, you've got to be willing to make yourself uncomfortable on purpose. You've got to be willing to disappoint others in order to not betray yourself. You've got to be willing to fail and still keep going. The gap between where you are and where you want to be isn't talent. It's not intelligence. It's not luck. It's discipline. It's the daily decision to act like the person you claim you want to become, before anyone believes in you, before it pays off, before it feels easy. You want to be respected? Then be consistent when it's hard. Be relentless when it's boring. Be focused when everyone else is distracted. Stop chasing instant gratification. It's a trap designed to steal your future. Start building delayed gratification like it's a muscle, because that's where the winners live. That's where peace lives. That's where confidence lives. People will tell you to be kind to yourself. But real kindness isn't letting yourself off the hook. It's not telling yourself it's okay to keep playing small. Real kindness is looking yourself in the mirror and saying, I love you too much to let you waste one more day. It's holding yourself to a higher standard because you know you were built for more than survival. You were built for impact, for greatness, for self-mastery. You're not unlucky. You're not behind. You're just at war with your habits, and the side you feed the most will win. So the question is not, can I do this? The question is, will I show up for myself when nobody claps, nobody sees, and nobody helps? Because that's where discipline is born. Not in the spotlight, but in the silence. And if you can win the war in silence, you will never lose in public again. Every single habit you repeat is a vote for the person you become. Every single choice you make in silence is building a future louder than any words you'll ever speak. You think the little things don't matter, but they are the only things that ever have. You're building your life whether you're intentional or not. And if you're not choosing your habits are choosing your destiny without your permission. You wake up and grab your phone first thing in the morning. Don't act surprised when your mind feels scattered all day. You say you'll do something later. Don't act confused when later becomes never. You surround yourself with people who drain you. Don't act shocked when your energy never rises. The life you're living today is not the result of one big decision. It's the result of the small decisions you make every single day on autopilot. And if you want to change your life, you don't need a miracle. You need a new routine. Stop saying, I don't have time. Start saying it's not a priority. Because the truth is, if it mattered to you, you'd already be doing it. We always find time for what we truly value. So if you're not showing up for your goals, your dreams, your healing, it's not time you're missing. It's clarity. It's direction. It's discipline. And until you admit that, you'll keep hiding behind the illusion of busy while your dreams rot in the back seat. You want to be confident? Then keep the promises you make to yourself daily. Confidence is not a gift. It's the result of consistent action. You don't build belief in yourself by thinking positively. You build belief by doing what you said you would do, even when it's hard, even when it's inconvenient, even when nobody's clapping, especially them. Because the way you do the small things is the way you'll do everything. You want peace? Then protect your morning like it's sacred. How you start your day is how you program your brain to respond to everything. If you begin the day with intention, your brain is focused. If you begin with chaos, your brain will chase it all day. It's not spiritual talk, it's neuroscience. You're literally shaping the way your mind fires with every single routine you follow. You're either wiring yourself for strength or wiring yourself for stress. Your habits don't care how you feel. Your future doesn't care that you're tired. Your goals don't shrink just because you do. You want a different life? Then stop waiting to feel ready. Readiness is a myth. Discipline is real. And every single day you get up and take action without permission from your feelings, you get one step closer to the life you say you want. It doesn't matter if it's a 5-minute walk or a full workout. It doesn't matter if you write one sentence or a whole chapter. What matters is that you train your brain to act without negotiating. Because the moment you start negotiating with your comfort zone, you've already lost. You don't get better by thinking about it. You get better by doing it messy and imperfect until the doing becomes automatic. The problem is not that you're failing. The problem is that you keep quitting. You want results in a week for work that takes a year. You want breakthroughs without breakdowns. You want confidence without effort. But that's not how transformation works. You don't get what you wish for. You get what you commit to daily when it's boring, frustrating, and invisible. The people you admire, they didn't get there by accident. They built systems around the life they wanted. They worked on themselves when nobody cared, when nobody asked, when nobody noticed. They said no to easy things because they wanted extraordinary results. They sacrificed what was comfortable to become someone unstoppable. And you can too, but not if you keep pretending that your habits are neutral. They're not. They're either building your future or breaking it down, one day at a time. You keep waiting for a sign. This is it. This moment right now is your wake-up call. Because you are one routine away from changing everything. You are one new habit away from becoming unrecognizable. And no, it won't feel magical at first. It'll feel hard. It'll feel inconvenient. It'll feel lonely. But that's how you know it's working. Because you're breaking patterns that have kept you small for years. Start small, but stay consistent. Drink the water. Move your body. Journal the thoughts. Say no to that toxic invite. Do one thing every day that makes future you proud. And don't you dare underestimate what those small wins will do when you stack them for 30, 60, 90 days straight. Your life won't just look different. It will feel unrecognizable. Success doesn't show up all at once. It shows up quietly, behind closed doors, in early mornings and late nights, in reps no one sees. You don't rise when you get lucky. You rise when you get consistent. You rise when you get intentional. You rise when you make your habits match your ambition. Your habits are not just behaviors, they are declarations. They say, this is who I am becoming. They say, this is the standard I hold myself to. They say, this is what I will no longer tolerate. You don't have to have it all figured out, but you do have to show up every day like you're worth fighting for. Because you are. And when your habits start reflecting that belief, everything changes.